Chapter 828. Money Can't Buy Everything. At a local graveyard in Missouri, we were at two graves with the names of Chin's parents on them. We were paying our respects to them whose lives were senselessly cut short by the evil Russian mafia, rendering Chin an orphan forced to live on the streets. G1 Bumblebee, so this is the graveyard where your parents were buried, Chin? Chin, yes. Scrapper, before you say anything, Scavenger, you can't put more dirt onto the graves of Chin's parents. Hook, yet. We don't want to defile those graves. Scavenger, I know. Lincoln, I can't believe that the Russian mafia did this. Me, the mafia is pure evil. They have zero respect for the law and have absolutely no regard for the value of human life at all. Nico, I know. Venom, we just wish we were there to kill those mobsters before they murdered your family. Me, I know Venom. But they are already dead. I brought them all to justice and killed every single one of them. Interpol did the rest and either brought them to prison or killed them. Venom, good riddance. Laney, yet. Chin, I still remember the lullaby my mom would sing to me every night. Me, can we hear it? Chin, sure. Chin sang Secret Garden Sleep Song. Chin, singing divinely. Luli, 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 Lile. Luli, Luli, Luli Lile. Lay down your head and I'll sing you a lullaby. Back to the years of Luli Lile. And I'll sing you to sleep and I'll sing you tomorrow. Bless you with love for the road that you go. May you sail far to the far fields of fortune, with diamonds and pearls at your head and your feet. And may you need never to banish misfortune. May you find kindness in all that you meet. May there always be angels to watch over you, to guide you each step of the way, to guard you and keep you safe from all harm. Luli, Luli, Lile. May you bring love and may you bring happiness. Be loved in return to the end of your days. Now fall off to sleep, I'm not meaning to keep you. I'll just sit for a while and sing Luli, Lile. May there always be angels to watch over you, to guide you each step of the way, to guard you and keep you safe from all harm. Luli, Luli, Lile, Luli, Luli, Lile. Luli, 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 Lile. Luli, Luli, Luli Lile. Luli, Luli, Luli Lile. Luli, Luli, Luli Lile. Luli, Lile. We saw the beauty of the aurora borealis appear and it was beautiful, and when the song was done we were crying. Lana, crying, that was beautiful. Lola, crying, why would the mob do this? Lori, crying, they are literally monsters. Lisa, usually I don't show emotions like this but crying hard. Dexter hugged Lisa, Joey hugged Lainey, Winston hugged Lola, Lincoln was hugged by Earth, Lily, Ariel's sisters, and Paige, and everyone was hugged. I had tears streaming down my face. Everyone was crying. Then a white light shined down from the heavens and standing in the light was Chin's parents, Nathan, and Sakia Chen. Chin saw them for the first time in 3 years. Chin, Mom? Dad? Nathan Chen, hi sweetheart. Sakia, my sweet Chin. Chin, Mom. Dad. She went and hugged them for the first time in 3 years. It was an emotional reunion. Chin, crying, I miss you guys so much. Sakia, we miss you too sweetheart. Nathan Chen, but we're so happy that you are in good hands. Nico, Mr. and Mrs. Chen. It's so good to see you both again. Sakia, Nico. It's great to see you again too. Nathan Chen, thank you so much for looking out for our Chin. We love her so much. Nico, I know. She's like a little sister to me and I will always be there for her. Sakia, we know Nico. And JD, we can't thank you enough for bringing those men that killed us to justice. Me, I did what I had to do, Sakia. What those men did to you was completely unforgivable. Nathan Chen, That's true. But please take care of our daughter. We love her. We all love her. And she is very strong. Sakia, we know. Chin, never forget that we love you and we will always be with you. Chin, I know Mom. I miss you both so much. But I know you will be with me right here in my heart. Nathan Chin, that's our baby girl. Sakia, take care Chin. They went back up to heaven. I'm glad your parents can now be at peace Chin. Chin, me too JD. Bobby, feel better, Chin? Chin, yet. I finally got closure. I'm glad. We later went back home. Along the way Nico caught a carbink and a gudra. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. At the estate we were watching the Godzilla movies. Earlier in the middle of the city I caught the through card as it was going a bunch of buildings like a trickster. The through's card form shows a young woman dressed in a flowing gown of the Oriental style, with long Chinese-styled hair, put into 2 loops at the top of the head held by a large bead, then falling into a very long tail. She wears ball-shaped earrings and has an oval-shaped gem on her forehead. She is pictured jumping through a silver, presumably solid, disc. Chin, hey Yuko, I heard you all had to go through a terrible ordeal with Godzilla. Yuko, we sure did Chin. It was a completely different Godzilla than the one that we know and faced. Chin, what happened? That was a horrifying ordeal they all went through 20,000 years into the future. I revealed what happened during the events of 20,000 years of terror. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. At the dawn of the 21st century, the Earth became overrun by terrifying gigantic creatures known as kaiju. Humanity's military might was no match for these beasts, and millions of people perished at their hands. The most infamous among the kaiju was Godzilla, an unstoppable monster that killed everything in his path, be it monster or man. An alien race known as the Exif arrived on the Earth during this time, aiming to convert humanity to its religion in its time of great despair. This was followed by the appearance of the Bilesaludo, a technologically advanced race seeking to immigrate to Earth following the destruction of their home planet. The Bilesaludo promised that if humanity would grant them asylum on the Earth, they would rid the planet of Godzilla. By 2046, the Bilesaludo were close to completing their ultimate anti-Godzilla weapon, Mechagodzilla. However, Godzilla breached the facility in Hamamatsu before Mechagodzilla could be activated, and the Bilesaludo were forced to abandon their creation. This decisive defeat of the United Earth at Godzilla's hands was the final straw, and the planet's central government organized a desperate plan to evacuate 15,000 humans from the planet and search for a new home world elsewhere in the universe. 10,000 passengers boarded the Horatio, bound for Kepler 452, while another 5,000 were to board the Eritrum, bound for Tau Ceti. As young Haruo Sakaki was being escorted onto the Eritrum by Daiichi Tani, he witnessed Godzilla appear over the horizon and obliterate one of the shuttles heading toward the ship with his atomic breath. The shuttle crashed to the ground and destroyed the bus carrying Haruo's parents to the ship. Haruo never forgot what happened to his parents, and developed a burning desire to avenge their deaths and destroy Godzilla. Approximately 22 years after the Eritrum fled the Earth, it finally reaches the target destination of Taui. The ship's passengers have dwindled to 4,000, and resources are becoming extremely scarce. A landing ship carrying many elderly passengers, including Daiichi Tani, is prepared to descend to the planet's surface to determine if it is inhabitable. Haruo, now a captain aboard the ship, believes that the Central Committee aims to rid the Eritrum of its elderly population and is sending these passengers to their deaths. Taking matters into his own hands, Haruo seals himself with a large amount of explosives inside a landing ship and threatens to set them off if the landing mission isn't called off. Haruo is contacted by Daiichi Tani, who explains that he and the other passengers volunteered for this mission because they are too old and tired to continue living aboard the Eritrum. In Tani's own words, he would prefer to finally die on land rather than in space. Haruo begs his adoptive grandfather not to go through with the mission, but soldiers breach the landing ship and arrest Haruo. Haruo can only watch helplessly from a prison cell as the landing ship explodes upon entering Taui's atmosphere. Metphis, an Exif archbishop and colonel aboard the ship, enters Haruo's cell and says he has come to hear his confession, but in reality is there to give Haruo classified data regarding Godzilla so he can complete his anti-Godzilla plan. Haruo believes that with the right strategy, humanity could have defeated Godzilla 22 years ago, but instead chose to retreat and leave the planet at his mercy. He aims to prove that Godzilla could be defeated, and anonymously publishes his anti-Godzilla plan aboard the ship. Meanwhile, the Central Committee convenes to discuss measures since Taui is confirmed to be uninhabitable. In Durf, the Exif Cardinal says that their computer, the Gematron, calculates that the Eritrum could successfully make the return trip to Earth instantaneously using its hyperdrives. The committee weighs the possibility of returning to Earth, and rumors of a return to Earth begin spreading across the ship, along with Haruo's anti-Godzilla plan. Metphis visits the cabin of Bilesa Ludo Technical Officer Muluelu Galogu to discuss the proposed return to Earth. Galogu says he has read over the latest published version of Haruo's plan, and by the time he accessed it already had over 400 views. Galogu says he finds the plan interesting and admires Haruo's determination, but thinks that even if this strategy had been employed 22 years ago, humanity still would have been unable to defeat Godzilla. He says that in that case, the Exif still would have been unable to conquer the Earth by brainwashing humanity using their religion. Metphis counters and says that had the Bilesa Ludo successfully completed Mechagodzilla and killed Godzilla with it, they would simply have turned it against humanity next. Both aliens agree that these scenarios are simply a matter of what-ifs from a time long past, and they are in the same situation as humanity now. Eventually, the Central Committee approves the plan to return to Earth, and activates the Eritrum's hyperdrives. The ship emerges from hyperspace completely intact, and finds itself just outside of Earth's orbit. Reconnaissance drones are sent into the planet's atmosphere to analyze the environment. The analysis concludes that at least 10,000 years have passed on Earth, and that the environmental conditions have changed considerably. Strange metallic particles float through the atmosphere, and a great deal of fog obscures the drone's vision. One drone detects seismic activity in a forested area of what once was Japan, and manages to capture the unmistakable roar of Godzilla just before going offline. Takeshi J. Hamamoto tries to suggest that the sound was caused by wind or some other natural cause, but Umberto Mori angrily declares that no one could ever forget Godzilla's roar. The committee convenes to discuss further options since Godzilla is apparently still alive on the planet. Professor Martin Lazari says that Godzilla may have survived all this time by undergoing periodic cycles of dormancy every few millennia, or that he somehow multiplied and only one individual is left. He also raises the possibility that Godzilla is simply immortal, as his existence already defies every existing law of biology. Metphis tells the committee that he is prepared to reveal the author of the anti-Godzilla plan under two conditions. 1. The committee must drop all charges for leaking classified information, and 2. Captain Haruo Sakaki must be released on bail. The committee agrees, and Haruo is set free and allowed to propose his plan to the Central Committee. Haruo states that Godzilla's invincibility is derived from his asymmetrically permeable shield, an electromagnetic defense mechanism deployed from his body. He is certain that the shield is produced by a specific organ, and if they pay close attention when Godzilla deploys it, they may be able to pinpoint the organ's location. Haruo notes that the shield produces a noise when it deploys, and that if they can isolate the noise and play it back, they can determine at what exact points the shield collapses and redeploys. When the shield is down, they need to destroy the organ and send an EMP probe into Godzilla's body before the organ regenerates. This theoretically should cause Godzilla's body to become overloaded with electromagnetic energy and make him explode. Haruo says that he will need at least 600 men to carry out the mission, which the committee reluctantly grants. 4 companies of soldiers are deployed to the Earth's surface in landing ships, under the command of Colonel Elliot Leland. Haruo accompanies the expedition aboard a ship piloted by Leland, Metphis, and Major Ruluelu Balabi, still bound in handcuffs. Landing ships begin dropping thermopressure warheads onto the forest below to clear space for the ships to land. Haruo's company, Company A, touches down in a clearing while companies B, C, and D station themselves near the old Tonzawa Pass to prepare the anti-Godzilla operation. Professor Martin requests permission from Leland to lead a scientific expedition into the forest to study the flora and fauna. Leland grants him a small number of soldiers to accompany him, while Haruo insists on coming as well. Leland agrees, but orders Sergeant Yuko Tani to watch over him. Haruo is shocked that Yuko, whose grandfather Daiichi raised them both as children, volunteered for the mission. Yuko explains that she wanted a chance to meet with Haruo in person after her grandfather's death. She says that the committee claimed it removed all of the explosives that Haruo had threatened to detonate, but that they were all still unaccounted for on the ship. She wonders if the committee really did plan to reduce its elderly population and placed those explosives on Daiichi's landing ship to ensure that the expedition would never return. Haruo says he wants to believe that the committee isn't that corrupt, because he hates himself for not being able to trust his fellow man. He angrily says that Godzilla didn't just rob humanity of their home, but of basic human compassion and decency as well. While exploring the forest, Martin discovers that the plants are almost metallic, and their leaves are as sharp as razors. The team eventually comes upon what appear to be ruined buildings. Yuko is astonished to see a glimpse at humanity's old civilization for the first time in her life. Martin states that the buildings were able to be preserved because lichen used them as a seed bed, and the fungus was fossilized over time. Haruo falls to his knees and begins sobbing, saying that the Earth still remembered humanity after all this time. Meanwhile, a winged reptilian creature emerges from the forest with a soldier in its jaws and attacks Company A's base camp. The creature is joined by several more of its kind, which attack the soldiers. The soldiers open fire with their weapons and use powered suits to attack the monsters, but still suffer immense casualties. Martin and his team return to the camp and find the carcass of one of the creatures. Martin cuts off one of its teeth and brings it inside a landing ship for analysis. He determines using carbon dating that in reality nearly 20,000 years have passed on Earth. His analysis shows that both the creature and the plants from the forest share many similarities, and contain metallic material. He says that the winged creature in particular shares a large portion of its genome with Godzilla, and could be said to exist in the same family. The metallic particles in the atmosphere that produced the fog, he says, were most likely either pollen or chaff produced by the plants. Over the course of 20,000 years, Godzilla's DNA spread to the flora and fauna of Earth and created a new ecosystem built around his biology. Colonel Leland decides to abandon the mission, as the entire environment of Earth has become hostile and unsuitable for humanity. Haruo is infuriated and angrily pins Leland to a wall, saying that the Earth is still humanity's home. Leland says their best option is to colonize the moon and make occasional trips to Earth to obtain resources. Metphis agrees with Leland's plan, but points out that their landing ships were all damaged in the recent attack, and so they can't return to the Eritrum even if they want. Leland formulates a new plan to move through the Tonzawa Pass and join up with Companies B and C, then rendezvous with Company D to refuel and repair their landing ships and return to the Eritrum. Metphis says that their course is essentially identical to Haruo's original plan, but Leland makes it clear that they will make no attempt to draw out or engage Godzilla. In his words, this is simply a retreat mission. Company A begins moving through the Tonzawa Pass, with its landing ship barely able to maintain flight. They are joined by Companies B and C as they begin to approach their destination. Aboard one of the ships, Metphis says that Haruo seems to be lost in thought. Haruo asks what the point of coming here was if they were just going to retreat again. Metphis says that neither Haruo nor Leland seem to understand Godzilla's purpose. He says that in the years the Exif have wandered through space, they have witnessed numerous civilizations like humanity meet their end at the hands of creatures similar to what humanity calls Godzilla. Metphis believes that Godzilla is divine punishment for mankind's arrogance, and will never let them escape. True to Metphis' prediction, Godzilla appears near the pass and begins to approach. Leland orders all units to take evasive action, but Company A's landing ship begins to lose control and shows a risk of exploding. Metphis sets Haruo free of his bonds and tells him to do what his soul commands. Haruo boards a hover bike aboard the ship while Yuko, Metphis, and Martin evacuate the ship. Haruo takes off just as the ship explodes, and begins firing his hover bike's guns at Godzilla. Martin says that the bike can't do enough damage to provoke Godzilla to use his shield, so Haruo flies the bike high into the air and prepares to nosedive directly into Godzilla. Just before Haruo can crash into Godzilla, a multipital battery piloted by Leland opens fire on Godzilla. Haruo diverts his course and watches as Leland bombards Godzilla with artillery. Godzilla deploys his shield and fires his atomic breath at the battery, killing Leland. Using data collected from the encounter, Gulugu is able to pinpoint Godzilla's electromagnetic organ as existing in his dorsal plates. The remaining units assemble in a clearing, while Metphis contacts the Central Committee to inform them of Leland's death. Metphis assumes command of the mission, but tells the committee that he will need to designate his authority to Haruo. The committee tells Metphis to do whatever it takes to bring as many people back as possible. Metphis addresses the surviving soldiers and informs them that Haruo is now the commander of the operation. Haruo addresses the crowd next, and says that although their situation is dire, they can be proud as long as they do not yield to Godzilla. All they need to do, he says, is finish this battle, and end Godzilla's reign over the Earth. Haruo's plan is put back into action, with Gulugu moving the explosive traps deeper into the pass and Bolobi and Adam Bindewald leading a fleet of hover bikes to draw Godzilla there. Multipital batteries and powered suits are put in position just outside the pass, where they will attack Godzilla once the traps are sprung. Bolobi and Adam lead the hover bikes to Godzilla's location and open fire, turning his trajectory toward the Tanzawa Pass. Some of the bikes are destroyed when they accidentally crash, while others are obliterated by Godzilla's atomic breath. A flock of the winged creatures flies out of the forest below and attacks the hover bikes, which are able to mostly evade them. Haruo contacts Bolobi and Adam and tells them that they need to draw Godzilla into the pass quickly. Bolobi reports that they have lost 10 bikes already and are running low on gas. Haruo tells Adam to break from the formation and assemble 6 ace pilots to take command of landing ships. The ships will fly in front of Godzilla and drop thermopressure warheads, creating a path to lead him into the valley more quickly. He says that if the pilots know their ship is being targeted by Godzilla, to eject immediately. Gulugu remarks that if the ships are destroyed, they will be stranded and have no way to get home. Haruo simply replies that they are already home. Adam complies and assembles 6 pilots, then takes command of one of the ships. The ships fly in front of Godzilla and drop the thermobaric bombs, which draw Godzilla into the valley. Adam notices Godzilla target his ship and ejects just as the ship is destroyed by Godzilla's atomic breath. Once Godzilla enters the target point, the explosive charges planted by Gulugu's team are detonated, and the slopes surrounding the pass collapse onto Godzilla, burying him up to his chest in rubble. The multipital batteries all begin opening fire on Godzilla, causing him to deploy his shield. The soldiers successfully isolate the noise generated by Godzilla's electromagnetic organ and play it back, allowing them to determine exactly when it will collapse. The batteries open fire on Godzilla's back once the shield goes down, and destroy the organ. However, Godzilla's tissue regenerates in a matter of seconds, and the shield is restored. Haruo takes command of a powered suit and jumps onto Godzilla's back. He tells the artillery to open fire when the shield goes down, even though he could be hit by the attack as well. Gulugu obliges, and the batteries open fire on Godzilla's back again as soon as the shield collapses. The organ is destroyed again, and this time Haruo jams an EMP probe into Godzilla's back. More powered suits follow, and numerous EMP probes are sent into Godzilla's body. Godzilla begins breaking free of the rebel and forces several of the powered suits off of him. As the electromagnetic energy runs wild inside of Godzilla's body, he turns to Haruo and prepares to fire his atomic breath. Haruo exclaims that he has killed Godzilla, just as Godzilla completely explodes. In the aftermath of the battle, Haruo and his allies stare at the remnants of Godzilla. Gulubi and Gulugu remark that this creature truly was an unnatural monster. Professor Martin tells Haruo that in his opinion, the Godzilla they just killed probably isn't the same Godzilla that drove humanity from Earth in 2048. Haruo says that this Godzilla possessed the exact same appearance and abilities they had on record, but Martin says that is exactly why he thinks it is a different individual. Life is characterized by change and evolution, he says, and it is extremely unusual for a creature to remain completely unchanged for 20,000 years, especially one like Godzilla which has the ability to individually evolve. Martin proposes that this Godzilla was an offshoot of the original that inherited his form and abilities, and that for all they know there could still be more Godzillas in the world. Haruo is confident that they are prepared to confront more Godzillas if need be, because they just proved that Godzilla can be killed. Martin says he admires Haruo's confidence, but would prefer to never experience such a harrowing battle again. Suddenly, a powerful tremor causes the ground around them to shake. One soldier uses a computer to detect the source of the tremor, but the result tells him that it is within 2 kilometers. The computer detects a signal larger and stronger than Godzilla, as well as plasma energy. At that moment, a nearby mountain explodes, and the familiar dorsal plates of Godzilla emerge from the smoke. The computer detects that the creature is over 300 meters tall and 100,000 metric tons in weight. Haruo asks how this can be a living creature, but Martin says this makes perfect sense if Godzilla was able to continue to grow and evolve uninterrupted for 20,000 years. Haruo gives the order for as many people as possible to retreat, and numerous soldiers board hover bikes and landing ships. Metphis watches Godzilla from a nearby hill, and remarks that the King of Destruction has finally shown himself once again as Godzilla lets out a deafening roar. As the ships begin to fly away, Godzilla produces a super oscillatory wave from his mouth, which completely destroys the ships. As more soldiers try to evacuate on hover bikes, Haruo enters a multipetal battery and plans to distract Godzilla while the survivors escape. Godzilla watches the humans escaping, and turns slightly before whipping his tail through the air, producing a powerful shockwave that seemingly destroys all of the humans' forces in a fiery explosion. Haruo watches helplessly from the wreckage of the multipetal battery as Godzilla looms in the distance, and weakly vows that he will kill him. ******. Sheen gasped in sheer horror. Sheen, that's terrible. Me, yet. This was before we became Team Loud Phoenix Storm. But we showed that with our combined power, we were able to destroy a massive monstrosity like Godzilla. Lainey, that was one of our most harrowing and most action-packed battles. Me, I was able to defeat Godzilla with a spirit bomb with energy from all over the galaxy. Sheen, wow. Skids, me and the rest of the Autobots and Decepticons weren't there to kill the first Godzilla. But we were there to kill the second one. Me, yet. We killed 2 more Godzillas actually. We killed one in New York City and one in Japan. The one in Japan was terrorizing the country for 65 years and we destroyed him using the same method that was used to kill him back in 1954, the oxygen destroyer. Sheen, what was that? Me, it's a terrifying chemical weapon and classified as a weapon of mass destruction. I pulled up the schematics for the oxygen destroyer. ******. The oxygen destroyer is a heavy device composed of a metal capsule with a glass central chamber. Within this chamber is a second capsule attached by rods at either end. Contained within the capsule is a large amount of what would be later known as microoxygen, the weapon's payload. Numerous gauges and pressure meters are present on the larger capsule. To operate the oxygen destroyer, the 2 ends of the larger capsule have to be pushed inwards. This causes the rods securing the inner capsule to pull apart, releasing the microoxygen within. *****. Sheen, it looks more like a bomb. Me, it does, doesn't it? But this is the result of what happens with the oxygen destroyer. I showed then a video of what happened to the first Godzilla back in 1954 and how the oxygen destroyer killed it. The oxygen destroyer released a massively violent reaction that made it look like the water was boiling and it was destroying all the oxygen in the water, and Godzilla died and turned into a skeleton and was destroyed. Sheen gasped in shock. Sheen, wow. Me, I know. We were shocked ourselves when we killed Japan's Godzilla. Lainey, yet it was awful. Sheen, didn't Godzilla destroy all of Tokyo back then? Me, yes. Let me show you. I showed her the footage of what happened back in 1954. She saw all of Tokyo, Japan completely reduced to rubble and flaming debris. Me, this was taken 65 years ago in 1954. Godzilla's first appearance caught Japan and the whole world completely off guard. Thousands of people died and not many people that saw him up close lived to tell about it. Damage back then was in the billions. Today it would be worth hundreds of trillions. Sheen, that's horrifying. I can't believe that Godzilla had such destructive power. Carol, all the kaiju have incredible power. Sheen, how was Godzilla created? Me, Godzilla was made in 1954 by the USA because of the testing of the most powerful thermonuclear bomb ever detonated by the US. I pulled up the footage of Castle Bravo. Me, Castle Bravo. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Castle Bravo was the first in a series of high-yield thermonuclear weapon design tests conducted by the United States at Bikini Atoll, Marshall Islands, as part of Operation Castle. Detonated on March 1, 1954, the device was the most powerful nuclear device detonated by the United States and its first lithium deuteride-fueled thermonuclear weapon. Castle Bravo's yield was 15 megatons of TNT, 2.5 times the predicted 6.0 megatons, due to unforeseen additional reactions involving 7Li, which led to the unexpected radioactive contamination of areas to the east of Bikini Atoll. At the time, it was most powerful artificial explosion in history. Fallout from the detonation fell on residents of Rongelap and Udirik atolls and spread around the world. The inhabitants of the islands were not evacuated until 3 days later and suffered radiation sickness. 23 crew members of the Japanese fishing vessel Daigo Fukurimaru, Lucky Dragon No. 5, were also contaminated by fallout, experiencing acute radiation syndrome. The blast incited international reaction over atmospheric thermonuclear testing. The Bravo crater is located at 11°4150 and 165°1619E. The remains of the Castle Bravo Causeway are at 11°426 and 165°177E. The device was mounted in a shot cap on an artificial island built on a reef off Namu Island, in the Bikini Atoll. A sizable array of diagnostic instruments was trained on it, including high-speed cameras trained through an arc of mirror towers around the shot cap. The detonation took place at 6:45 on March 1, 1954, local time, 1845 on February 28 GMT. When Bravo was detonated, within 1 second it formed a fireball almost 4.5 miles, 7.2 kilometers, across. This fireball was visible on Kwajalein Atoll over 250 miles, 400 kilometers, away. The explosion left a crater 6,500 feet, 2,000 m, in diameter and 250 feet, 76 m, in depth. The mushroom cloud reached a height of 47,000 feet, 14,000 m, and a diameter of 7 miles, 11 kilometers, in about a minute, a height of 130,000 feet, 40 kilometers, and 62 miles, 100 kilometers, in diameter in less than 10 minutes and was expanding at more than 100 meters per second, 360 kilometers per hour, 220 miles per hour. As a result of the blast, the cloud contaminated more than 7,000 square miles, 18,000 square kilometers, of the surrounding Pacific Ocean, including some of the surrounding small islands like Rong-Erik, Rong-Shlap, and Udirik. In terms of energy released, usually measured in TNT equivalents, Castle Bravo was about 1,000 times more powerful than each of the atomic bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. Castle Bravo is the fifth largest nuclear explosion in history, exceeded by the Soviet tests of Tsar Bomba at approximately 50 mt, Test 219 at 24.2 mt, and two other 20 mt Soviet tests in 1962 at Novaya Zemlya. The yield of 15 megatons was 3 times that of the 5 mt predicted by its designers. The cause of the higher yield was an error made by designers of the device at Los Alamos National Laboratory. They considered only the lithium-6 isotope in the lithium deuteride secondary to be reactive, the lithium-7 isotope, accounting for 60% of the lithium content, was assumed to be inert. It was expected that the lithium-6 isotope would absorb a neutron from the fissioning plutonium and emit an alpha particle and tritium in the process, of which the latter would then fuse with the deuterium and increase the yield in a predicted manner. Lithium-6 indeed reacted in this manner. It was assumed that the lithium-7 would absorb one neutron, producing lithium-8, which decays, through beryllium-8, to a pair of alpha particles on a timescale of seconds, vastly longer than the timescale of nuclear detonation. When lithium-7 is bombarded with energetic neutrons, rather than simply absorbing a neutron, it captures the neutron and decays almost instantly into an alpha particle, a tritium nucleus, and another neutron. As a result, much more tritium was produced than expected, the extra tritium fusing with deuterium and producing an extra neutron. The extra neutron produced by fusion and the extra neutron released directly by lithium-7 decay produced a much larger neutron flux. The result was greatly increased fissioning of the uranium tamper and increased yield. This resultant extra fuel, both lithium-6 and lithium-7, contributed greatly to the fusion reactions and neutron production and in this manner greatly increased the device's explosive output. The test used lithium with a high percentage of lithium-7 only because lithium-6 was then scarce and expensive. The later Castle Union test used almost pure lithium-6. Had sufficient lithium-6 been available, the usability of the common lithium-7 might not have been discovered. The unexpectedly high yield of the device severely damaged many of the permanent buildings on the control site island on the far side of the atoll. Little of the desired diagnostic data on the shot was collected. Many instruments designed to transmit their data back before being destroyed by the blast were instead vaporized instantly, while most of the instruments that were expected to be recovered for data retrieval were destroyed by the blast. Cheen, whoa. It was that powerful back then? Me, yet. It was supposed to be a 5 megaton nuclear blast. But it increased by 200% to 15 megatons, making it the most powerful nuclear bomb ever detonated by the United States of America. Cheen, wow. That's powerful. Also, that reminds me. I heard you all saved the entire town of Dante's Peak. Me, that was one of our most heroic adventures. I'll be right back. I went to my room and brought down a newspaper of what happened. On the front page was the whole town of Dante's Peak in Washington state completely destroyed and wiped off the map, and the volcano showed a huge resemblance to Mount St. Helens when it erupted back in 1980. In big bold words was Dante's Peak obliterated by volcanic eruption. Cheen, whoa. That whole town is gone. Nico, that is terrible. Me, it was. I called a press conference in Washington, D.C. and told everyone what happened. I played the footage of the press conference from after that. Me, good afternoon everyone. I'm sorry for interrupting your activities again, but less than 24 hours ago, a massive volcanic eruption of Mount St. Helens strength completely destroyed the little town of Dante's Peak in Washington state. The volcano produced a powerful level 6 eruption on the volcanic explosivity index chart, and there is nothing left of the whole town. Me, Very, and my friends Vince Pusateri, Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Hirano, Fu, Hinata Haiga, Ino Yamanaka, Tenten, Don, and the Loud siblings all responded to this catastrophe and got everyone out of there. There are no casualties, but the whole town of Dante's Peak in its entirety is a complete and total loss. The evacuation warnings came too late and it was mass panic among the entire town. That volcano completely destroyed the entire town and there is nothing left of it now. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Sheen, wow. You guys did a great deed. Me, it was a powerful day for us. Sheen, but what is the volcanic explosivity index? Nicole, I can answer that. That's the gauge volcanologists use to measure the explosive power of a volcanic eruption. Nicole pulled out a chart that showed the scale in the volcanoes that erupted over all of history with that level of power. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. With indices running from 0 to 8, the Vey associated with an eruption is dependent on how much volcanic material is thrown out, to what height, and how long the eruption lasts. The scale is logarithmic from Vey 2 and up. An increase of one index indicates an eruption that is 10 times as powerful. As such, there is a discontinuity in the definition of the Vey between indices 1 and 2. The lower border of the volume of ejecta jumps by a factor of 100, from 10,000 to 1 million cubic meters, 350,000 to 35,310,000 cu foot, while the factor is 10 between all higher indices. In the following table, the frequency of each Vey indicates the approximate frequency of new eruptions of that Vey or higher. Examples: 104 cubic meters Hawaiian effusive 100 m continuous negligible none. Hoodoo Mountain, c. 7050 BC, 3 Erebus, 1963, Claudia, 1977, Socorro Island, 1993, Mawson Peak, 2006, Dalal, 2011, Piton de la Fournaise, 2017. 104 cubic meters Hawaiian / Strombolian gentle 100 m 1 km daily minor none. Stromboli, since Roman times, Nyiragongo, 2002, Rahul Island, 2006. 106 cubic meters Strombolian / Vulcanian explosive 15 km every 2 weeks moderate none. Unzen, 1792, Cumber Vieja, 1949, Galeras, 1993, Sinabung, 2010. 107 cubic meters Vulcanian / Pelian / Subplinian catastrophic 315 km 3 months substantial possible. Lassen Peak, 1915, Nevado del Ruiz, 1985, Soufriere Hills, 1995, Ontake, 2014. 40.1 cubic kilometers Pelian / Plinian / Subplinian cataclysmic 10 kilometers, Plinian or Subplinian, 18 months substantial definite. Loki, 1783, Claudia, 1790, Mayon, 1814, Pili, 1902, Kalima, 1913, Sakurajima, 1914, Katla, 1918, Galungung, 1982, Ijafyala Yakul, 2010, Nabro, 2011, Kalbiko, 2015. 51 cubic kilometer Pelian / Plinian paroxysmic 10 kilometers, Plinian, 12 years substantial significant. Vesuvius, 79, Fuji, 1707, Terrara, 1886, Agum, 1963, St. Helens, 1980, El Shishan, 1982, Hudson, 1991, Puyehu, 2011. 610 cubic kilometers Plinian / Ultraplinian colossal 20 kilometers 5100 YRS substantial. Lake Locke Volcano, c. 10,950 BC, Nevado de Toluca, 8,550 BC, Viniaminoth, c. 1,750 BC, Lake Ilopango, 450, Sibaruco, 930, Huaynaputana, 1,600, Krakatoa, 1,883, Santa Maria, 1902, Novarupta, 1912, Pinatubo, 1991. 7 100 cubic kilometers ultraplinian supercolossal 20 kilometers 501,000 YRS substantial Valles caldera 1,264,000 BC Phlegraean fields 37,000 BC Era caldera 22,000 BC Mount Mazama c. 5,700 BC Kikai caldera 4,300 BC Cerro Blanco c. 2,300 BC Thera c. 1,620 BC Taupo 180 Baekdu 946 Samalas 1,257 Tambora 1,815 8 1,000 cubic kilometers ultraplinian megacolossal 20 kilometers 50,000 YRS vast La Garita 26,300,000 BC Cerro Gallen 2,200,000 BC Huckleberry Ridge Tuff 2,100,000 BC Yellowstone 630,000 BC Wakameru and TVZ 254,000 BC Toba 74,000 BC Taupo 25,360 BC. About 40 eruptions of V8 magnitude within the last 132 million years, Maya, have been identified, of which 30 occurred in the past 36 million years. Considering the estimated frequency is on the order of once in 50,000 years, there are likely many such eruptions in the last 132 Maya that are not yet known. Based on incomplete statistics, other authors assume that at least 60 V8 eruptions have been identified. The most recent is Lake Taupo's Oruanui eruption, more than 27,000 years ago, which means that there have not been any Holocene eruptions with a V of 8. There have been at least 10 eruptions of V7 in the last 10,000 years. There are also 58 Plinian eruptions, and 13 caldera-forming eruptions, of large, but unknown magnitudes. By 2010, the Global Volcanism Program of the Smithsonian Institution had catalogued the assignment of a V for 7,742 volcanic eruptions that occurred during the Holocene, the last 11,700 years, which account for about 75% of the total known eruptions during the Holocene. Of these 7,742 eruptions, about 49% have a V of less than or equal to 2, and 90% have a V less than or equal to 3. Chin, wow. I had no idea volcanoes pack that much explosive power. Nicole, it takes a lot of study and a lot of volcanic pressure. Chin, wow. So the volcano near Dante's Peak had a level 6 eruption, so that makes it a colossal eruption. Nicole, exactly. They pack as much power as Krakatoa did when it erupted back in 1883. They only happen once every 100 years. And when Mount Sibo erupted just recently, it had a level 7 eruption. Chin, so a supercolossal eruption. Nicole, exactly. Those happen once every 1,000 years. Those are like what happened when Mount Tambora erupted back in 1815. Chin, wow. But what about level 8? What is that one? That is for supervolcano eruptions. Supervolcanoes are 100 times more powerful than level 7, and the most recent supervolcano eruption was Mount Taupo back 26,500 years ago. Nicole, exactly. These volcanic eruptions happen once every 100,000 years. And the next supervolcano eruption is in Yellowstone National Park. That's scheduled to blow at any time. But not for at least a couple of thousand years. Chin, why is Yellowstone gonna blow? Volcanologists and geologists have discovered a massive pocket of lava right underneath it. It's 960 cubic miles wide, and when Yellowstone erupts, it will plunge the whole planet into the next ice age. I pulled up a simulation on the computer of what will happen when Yellowstone erupts, and it showed that Earth will be locked in a lasting ice age that will last for hundreds of years. Chin, wow. That's horrifying. And all that magma is under Yellowstone? Yet. That's why I have a feeling we're going to leave the planet before Yellowstone blows. Chin, I have a feeling you're right. Me, but there are other volcanoes on other planets that are thousands of times more powerful than Yellowstone. Chin, really? Me, yep. And a prominent example is the Io hypereruption on Jupiter's moon Io. I showed her a picture of the powerful hypereruption from August of 2013 and she was stunned. Chin, whoa. That is powerful. Lola, it sure is. I didn't know Io had such power. Lainey, same here. Chin, Maria, where does horses sleep? In your arms or in a fishbowl? Maria, she sleeps in either one. Horsa, yep. And I'm okay with both. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Later we received a call from one of the richest families in the country, the Riches. They are the richest family in the world with a net worth of $25 billion and today it would be worth $724 trillion. They are easily the richest of all next to us and Scrooge McDuck. We got word that Richie's parents Richard Rich Sr. and Regina Rich have been kidnapped and are being held hostage to get to the rich fortune. We were over at the Rich estate in North Carolina. Me, wow. Lola, wow. The Rich house is amazing. Nico, it sure is. I've heard so much about the Rich family and how they help people around the world and more. Vince, that is so amazing. Me, and look at that. They have their faces on a mountain. That is an iconic feat. We saw Mount Richmore. Me, amazing. With us was our newest recruits James Maxfield and his friends Sia and Sylvia. James Maxfield was a kid with brown hair, brown eyes, a red scarf around his neck, a white t-shirt, black leather jacket, blue jeans, and black shoes. Sia is a girl with black hair, blue eyes, and black Japanese-style school uniform and Sylvia has black hair with her hair in a bun and blue eyes and she had a red shirt and black sweater and a red skirt and red shoes. James gave me the time card. Time's visible form in the anime series and in the Sakura card is of a robed, old man with a long beard and pointed ears, carrying a large hourglass. And Sia gave me the return card. Return's visible form resembles a swift-moving, tangible black mist. Its Sakura card image displays a young female holding a blue hourglass. However, for some reason, in its Clow card form, it is shown holding a blue clock with wings, in reverse form running counterclockwise in respect of its power to rewind the time around its user for them to see past events, instead. James M., it's such an honor to work with you JD. Sia, yet. Me, I'm glad you three could join us. Bella, me too. James M., I can't wait to bust some bad guys. Me, we will. We went into the estate and we were greeted by Cadbury. Cadbury, welcome Team Loud Phoenix Storm. Me, thank you Cadbury. Wow. This house is amazing. Cadbury, thank you Master JD. Me, we got word that Richie's parents were nabbed so we came to help. Cadbury, oh thank God. Richie Rich, the richest boy in the world next to me came. Richie, wow. Team Loud Phoenix Storm. Me, Richie Rich. It's truly an honor to meet one of the richest people in the world. Richie, you too JD. I love all of your adventures. Me, it's mutual. But Richie, do you know who might want to kidnap your parents? Richie, I sure do. Lawrence Van Doe. Richie told us about his history. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Lawrence Van Doe joined Rich Incorporated in the past, eventually working his way up to financial executive. It is implied that he is unhappy in his job, as he envies the Rich family's success. He succeeds in bombing their private jet, which they survive, and framing the butler Cadbury, at which point he takes over Rich Industries and fires nearly all the Rich family's servants and employees. He later deliberately rescues the Riches in order to gain access to the family vault inside Mount Richmore. After Richard and Regina Rich open the vault, he excitedly walks inside only to find that there is nothing in the vault except antiques and family memories. He is very angry and demands an explanation to where the riches are and finds out that they are all in the banks, stock market, and real estate, as the rich family do not value money. When Richie arrives at Mount Richmore to rescue his parents, Van Doe attempts to shoot him, but he is unharmed thanks to one of Professor Keenbean's inventions, which rendered his clothes bulletproof. After a climatic showdown on the face of Mount Richmore, Richie's dad fires Van Doe, even though he has made a lifelong practice of never terminating employees. Van Doe is fired and arrested, and later is seen watching Richie and his friends play a baseball game, while a part of his work release program has to clean the rich property. *****. Me, that's awful. So Van Doe and his cronies are out to kill you all to get your fortune of over $724 trillion. Richie, that's right. But he should have gone after you guys. You have more money than I do. Me, well, that's true. But our estate in Gotham Royal York in Michigan is like a massive impenetrable fortress with security 100 times more powerful and more tight than Fort Knox. Richie, wow. That's amazing. Me, I guess he picked you because it was easier and he wanted all that money for himself. Richie, that may be. Me, you called the right people, Richie. But we have a couple of things to share with you. And I believe you know this face. Scrooge McDuck came up to him. Richie, Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge, Scottish accent, aye lad. Pleasure to meet you, Richie. Richie, you too. Scrooge, Richie, I know you think that being rich is all it's cracked up to be. But trust me, it's not. Me, that's right, Richie. Having all the money in the world is one thing. But there are some things that money can never buy. Lori, like love. Luna, friendship. Me, or power. Richie, I guess you guys are right. Maybe money isn't everything after all. Me, that's right, Richie. We don't let the love of money go to our heads. We may be filthy rich, but we don't let it control us. No pun intended. Richie, I know. But thank you guys. I will do my best to get friends the right way. Me, and you can start with us. We'll gladly be your friends and help you. And after this is done, we're gonna place you and your family under the protection of Team Loud Phoenix Storm. Richie, I greatly appreciate that. Me, think nothing of it. Let's go show that freak that no one steals from our friends and gets away with it. Everyone, yet. *****. Outside, Optimus Prime was showing Ben as Omni Prime how to transform. Omni Prime tries to transform into vehicle mode. Damn it. Guess I should have practiced on transforming. Optimus Prime, take it easy, Ben. Relax. Think of the vehicle you want to transform into. Omni Prime did that and was able to transform into vehicle mode. Omni Prime, perfect. Van Doe won't know what hit him. Me, good job, Ben. Now we are ready. Ben now looked like an awesome limo. We were hiding in the bushes and we saw Van Doe and his bodyguard, Ferguson, and some of his lackeys get into the limo. They had Regina and Richard Sr. tied up and were about to head to the vault at Mount Richmore when Ben slammed his door and they were trapped. We had our guns and swords drawn and we were ready to fight. Me, Van Doe, you and your lackeys are under arrest. Van Doe, for what? Me, kidnapping, attempted capital murder, destruction of public property, fraud, and theft. Nico, Van Doe, you have failed this city. Me, and this whole planet. James M., so come on out or we'll kill you. Me, we need him alive, James. We're gonna throw him in our prisons. James M., oh sorry. Ben kicked them out and we punched and kicked some of his lackeys and sent them crashing into rocks and knocked them out. Bella went ultimate Bella. Bella, Ion Storm. Bella activated the power of the dredge and fired blasts of ion lasers at some of the thugs and the blasts went through their hearts and killed them. Laney got Regina and Richard Sr. out and untied them. Richard Sr. Thank you all so much, Laney. Laney, you're welcome, Mr. Ridge. But you better go hide. This is gonna get ugly. Regina, good idea. They hid. Lana fired blasts of ice lightning and froze the thugs and shattered them, killing them. Lola fired powerful blasts of fire and burned them into ash. Nico, you thugs have failed this world. The 3-star Dragon Ball on his bracelet glowed and he fired a green beam from his eyes and froze a bunch of thugs and shattered them into millions of pieces. Lincoln fired a massive blast of lightning and electrocuted a bunch of thugs. Me, time for some teamwork. Skids, you got it, boss. Cyber Key Power. The Earth Cyber Planet Key went into his back and it enhanced his liquid nitrogen rifle 100-fold. Bobby S. Watch me, babe. Earth Cyber Key Power. The Earth Cyber Planet Key went into Bobby's right arm device and it enhanced his crystal powers 100-fold. Skids and Bobby Santiago. Nitrogen Absolute Zero Sword. Bobby formed a sword of pure sapphire and Skids fired his liquid nitrogen rifle and it merged with his sword and it had a temperature of -459.67 Fahrenheit or absolute zero. The sword had brutally cold mist coming off of the blade was incredible. Bobby slashed a bunch of thugs and they froze into ice instantly and shattered into powder. Me? Wow. That was cold. BRRRRR. Lori, that literally was incredibly cold. Lisa, but it was indeed very clever. Bella, clockwork. Bella fired a time ray and it disintegrated some of the thugs into dust. Me, that was awesome, Bella. Bella, thanks. Nico, yet. Venom, time to show that we mean business. Animatron Cyber Key Power. The Animatron Cyber Planet Key went into Venom's right arm device and it enhanced his symbiote abilities 100-fold. Hook, let's get him. Cyber Key Power. The Earth Cyber Planet Key went into his back and enhanced his strength 100-fold. Venom and Hook, Symbiotic Boulder Slam. Hook lifted up a boulder and threw it and Venom got his symbiote matter onto the boulder and it turned into a ravenous mace ball and it chomped a bunch of thugs into carnage-filled gore. Once all the thugs were gone we set our sights on Van Doe. Me, now you will see the power of Team Loud Phoenix Storm. Scourge McDuck, let's get him with our final smashes, lads. Midas Hammer Gold Slam. Scourge McDuck formed a hammer made of pure 24-karat gold and slammed it into Van Doe's foot with devastating force. Blayonk. Van Doe, in excruciating pain, Gogow. OOHHOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO knockout. Richie fired a beam of gold energy into the air and it turned into an anvil made of solid gold and it landed on Van Doe's head with a nasty clang. Me? Oh well. That's gonna sting. Nico, not as much as this will. Van Doe, stupidly, which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? Nico, right here. Pow. Nico and Regina then punched him in the face and knocked out most of his teeth and knocked him out. Me, you're under arrest, Van Doe. The FBI came and grabbed him. Van Doe was found guilty of his crimes in federal court and he was sentenced to 6,234 years in the Uranus prison. Me, that takes care of that Claude. Richard Sr., thank you so much for saving us, JD. Me, think nothing of it, Mr. Rich. We were just doing what we had to do to save those that are precious to us. Regina, I'm glad. Richie, to the viewers, having all the money in the world may be a good thing, but it never brings you happiness or any of the good things in life. Like friendship or love or power. Me, you got that right, Richie. We moved the rich estate and land to Gotham Royal York and placed the whole rich family under our protection. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. At the beach we saw a bunch of kids being attacked by the sand card. One of sand's visible forms is a flow of sand that moves vaguely like a serpent. Its card form, never seen as a visible spirit, depicts a woman with elbow-length hair that seems to be in braids, dressed in Arabic clothes, harem pants, crop top, sleeves, and shoes, and is seemingly made of sand. Covering its ears are what appear to be circular discs, and an oval, red gem featured prominently on its forehead. Me. It's the sand card. I fired a powerful blast of ice and froze it. Me. Return to your power confined. I held out my hand and an energy card formed and it sucked in the sand card and it was a Clow card again. Me. Gotcha. That's 4 Clow cards in one day. 6 Clow cards were left to capture. Elsewhere in the futuristic side of the city, in an awesome headquarters academy, 6 Power Rangers were getting ready. They were getting ready for action. They were the Space Patrol Delta Power Rangers. Commander Kruger, be careful out there everyone. You are my finest students and soldiers. Team Loud Phoenix Storm is more than willing to have you all help them. Z. Yes sir Commander. Sydney Drew, it'll be an honor to meet them. They did the salute. Jack Landors, let's do it guys. SPD Rangers, SPD. Emergency. They activated their morphers and in a powerful flash of light they transformed. The end. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Another fanfiction complete and another villain brought to justice. Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin was awesome. That movie was a strong example that shows that money can never buy the most important things of all. Darkay let me use his ox for this one. Credit goes to you for them. Thanks man. Nico-chan 11 gave me the ideas for this one. Thanks man. The next cards are the voice card and the lock card. Let me know what you all think. See you all next time.